Hello and welcome to If a Hostel Could Talk. My name is Chloe Gaszewski and in today's episode I am joined by Dennis Raholo Howell. The centering question for today, is travel good for your mental health?
So basically I'm a mental health blogger, so I run a website called PsychReg. So it's a blog, it's a podcast, and it's also an academic journal. And on top of that, I also organize conference. So this coming 31st of October to 2nd of November, I'll be flying to Malaysia to organize the second international conference on psychology, counseling, and education. And I also organize a mental health bloggers conference.
A healthy mind and a healthy body is the key to a good quality life. So, if you're interested in attending one of these events that Dennis has just mentioned, then please go to www.psychreg.org.
So, you've done quite a bit of travelling?
Yeah, I've done a lot of traveling because when I was in my 20s, I love going to different countries. I was originally from the Philippines, so I've been to most of Southeast Asia. And then in 2013, I moved here to do my master's degree, and then I've been to some European countries. Yeah, I was originally a travel blogger before I developed my interest into mental health blogging.
So you said that you used to be a travel blogger, and I'm assuming that's because you had such a keen interest in travel, and you love travel, and you then transitioned over into mental health. Do you mind if I ask what was the reason behind that?
It may sound a bit cliched, but I think that there's an element of traveling that really promotes your mental health, that really promotes your well-being. Because when you travel and when you express your experiences through writing, somehow it makes sense. It makes much more sense, your experience, and you make it a longer lasting experience, so to speak. So in my attempt to promote mental health and well-being, that's how I transition into mental health blogging. And also because I told you earlier, I came into the UK to do my master's degree, and my research project was mainly about expressive writing. So basically it means that when you write about yourself, when you express yourself into writing, you psychologically benefit from it. So that's how I get the idea of running a mental health blog.
There is a power in writing about how you are feeling. Just look at Taylor Swift. Every time she has a breakup, she writes a cracking song. And in all seriousness, journaling or writing about your emotions and how you're feeling is a good way to get it out of your mind, onto paper, into reality, so that you can deal with it more effectively. One of the things that I advocate quite strongly is the benefits of travel and the impact that it has on somebody's mental health. So the fact that Dennis transitioned from travel blogging into mental health blogging just makes complete sense to me, because I understand where that transition came from.
Let's talk a little bit about travel then. So have you done a lot of travelling on your own?
Yeah, when I was a travel blogger, I've always been a solo traveler. The first country that I've been outside of Philippines was Hong Kong. Probably been there when I was 22, I was on my own. It was quite terrifying because, like the first time that you go out on your own in a different country where you don't know anyone, it was quite different because it's different culture, different language. Even though it's a bit terrifying, it's also quite exciting. There's an element of adventure, and I kind of like it. So from there, I've always traveled on my own. But since 2014, I got married, so obviously I travel with my husband now.
Perfect. Did you meet your husband here in the UK, or travelling, or back home? How did you guys meet? Was that a travel-based?
No, well, it's kind of travel-based because I met him here. So I met him through a common friend. So after I finished my degree, I ended up getting married here.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Did you struggle with your mental health at all prior to you sort of obviously writing about it? Is that something that's, mental health that affected you?
Basically, I grew up in the slum in the Philippines, and I think what that experience taught me about is resilience, about mental strength. I think that's the key thing that I want to convey to people who come across my blogs and the things that I do.
Dennis didn't have the greatest start to life in terms of where he grew up, and his love for travel then brought him over to the United Kingdom, where he found love and studied and a career and is in a much better place than where he first started. So that's something that travel really does give you. It gives you opportunity to find something new, which I'm not saying you can't get opportunities if you don't travel, but I am saying if you don't like the life that you're in right now, if everything that is around you is not serving you in the way that you want it to, then there is an entire world for you to explore, and whilst you're out there exploring, you may well just find an opportunity that opens new doors to a new and exciting way to live your life.
So I think one of the things that we can gain from traveling is we learn about different culture, and because I've always been a believer that the more you travel, the more it expands your horizons, the more you understand about life, the more you understand about how the world operates. Because before I met my husband, he's always just traveled in the UK and in Europe. But I told him, try to visit Asia, try to see the country where I came from, and it'll make you more understand how I think of the world. And I always tell that to people, like, travel as much as you can, because life is short just to stay in one country, stay in one place. And I think I've been fortunate enough that I live in 5 countries, and those 5 countries that I live with, it shaped my identity, it shaped my accent, it shaped my choices in food. Yeah. And I think if it's your first time to travel, I think it would be helpful if you travel with a friend or with a family. And as soon as you gain confidence, you can travel perhaps with a travel buddy or travel on your own.
My first experience travelling was completely by myself. I did solo travel. I flew from London to Panama City, and I spent 6 months backpacking all the way up to Mexico and then down to Colombia and back to Panama, and I did it by myself. I do agree with Dennis. If you are feeling quite nervous and it's something that you really can't tackle by yourself, then it is great to buddy up with somebody, and it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody you know, because there are always different tours out there or groups of people in different groups on Facebook that are always looking to connect other people and connect each other to have travel buddies to go away with. But if you do decide to go by yourself, I can assure you there are billions of people on this planet, and you will not be alone for very long, especially if you stick to the hostel routes. Hostels are fantastic because you will always meet other travellers, whether they're in groups or alone, and you'll always have somebody to go out with if you want to. If you want to be by yourself, fabulous, but if you don't and you want to make friends, I can assure you going down the hostel route is the best way to meet new people.
Okay, so where's the best place that you, like, the countries that you've been to so far, where's your favourite?
My favorite is Spain. The weather and the food, and also the language. There's something about Spanish language that's so amusing. I just like it, and the weather. I just love the weather because I love the heat, but I don't like oppressive heat. If you know what I mean. Like, but you don't get that in Spain. It's warm, but it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. In fact, we're going back to Spain again next year. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so do you have a favourite place in Spain, or do you just Spain in general?
Just Spain in general, but the first time I've been to Spain, we stayed in Malaga for 10 days.
So you did all around that. Did you do like Marbella and Port Venice and all that side?
Yeah.
That's interesting, really, because to us Brits, I think if you know, Spain wouldn't be my favourite country at all, and I think it's because it's so close. You know it so well. So for me personally, I'm like, oh, Spain? No, surely you would say the Philippines or Thailand.
That's where I come from.
It is, and that's exactly it. It's different to your culture, but because we are so familiar with Spain here, us, something so far away would be seen to us as something really exotic. And I guess that's the same for Europe, really, for people that live in Asia and you know, the Americas.
I'm not knocking Spain in any way at all. I have family that live there. And the truth is, anywhere you go is going to be completely different from where you are now, no matter how far away it is.
I think if there's an opportunity for anyone to combine their passion with traveling, they should do that. If there's a job where they can travel and at the same time earn money, that's incredible, and I think they should do that.
Dennis quit his full-time job as a PR executive in London to become a full-time blogger and start his own blogging business and the events that he runs. Anyone can create their dream job. All they need is the passion, the drive, and the know-how on how to do it. And all of that information is easily accessible to anyone.
Yeah, I've been to some places that I probably would not have been able to see if I did not decide to become a full-time blogger. Like right now, I'll always go to Romania every year. It's not a popular tourist destination, but one of the most amazing people that I've come across with are from Romania. So yeah, I go there every year. And the good thing about, the interesting thing I've found about Romania is that we have this notion that Romania is a poor country, but they've got an excellent internet connection. And I've Googled it. They're one of the top 10 countries in the world which has the fastest internet connection. They're way faster than the internet connection here. And that's really interesting because, if you're a travel blogger, it won't be a problem for you to update your blog about your travel in Romania. And the people are very friendly, and it's also quite cheap in Romania.
So you've just said that Romania has fast internet, which is something that we wouldn't have necessarily known. Is there any other countries that you know something about that you think that other people would necessarily know about?
Okay, I'll start with the good ones. I think the most organized country that I've been is Singapore. They're really organized. I like it. People are polite. They've got the best airport in the world. Changi Airport is the best airport in the world. They say that Singapore is like a box because everything that is organized. That's one thing. And then what I would say about Malaysia is it's a Muslim country. It's multicultural. There's some Muslim, there's some Chinese there. It's predominantly Muslim, so you have to be culturally sensitive when you're in Malaysia. That's quite the opposite when you go to Thailand, because Thailand, they've got a more liberal values, and I think they're more used to foreigners. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the reason why they're one of the top 10 most visited countries in the world. And for anyone who hasn't been to Philippines, we're quite welcoming to tourists. They say that Philippines is not really safe, and I could say that probably from my husband's observation that he did not really particularly feel safe in the Philippines, and the traffic is quite crazy in the Philippines. So if you go in there, you have to be prepared. But outside of the capital, I would say we've got the best beaches in the Philippines. I'm quite biased, but I would say we've got the best food. Yeah. And then be careful with the taxi drivers in Vietnam. Well, you have to be careful with any taxi drivers in the world, but my worst taxi experience, I would have to say, is in Vietnam. Yeah.
Right, okay. Right.
Yeah,
So what's
they really tried to cheat on you.
For me, my worst taxi ride was in Colombia. And that wasn't because he was trying to cheat me in any way. It was because I legit thought I was going to die. My Colombian taxi driver, I think he thought he was straight out of Fast and Furious, and he had a serious case of road rage. And of course, there was another occasion when I was on a minibus going from Honduras to Guatemala, and again, I thought that would be the end of my life. Equally though, I've been in the car with my best friend who I had the same reaction to, so it doesn't matter where you go, there's crazy people on the roads everywhere.
When I went to Cambodia, we went to this Buddhist temple, and we saw a Buddhist monk, and then out of nowhere he just wrapped a bracelet around my wrist, and he's struggling to explain it to me because he doesn't speak English, but I got the message that it's for protection, it's for safety,
Yeah.
Although I'm not religious myself, I'm an atheist. I find that quite spiritual in a sense. I don't know, like I'm not really a spiritual person, but there's something about, you know, like a stranger coming next to you and then just trying to wish your safety, and I find that quite comforting. I would say that I think that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's I love Buddhism as
Yeah.
the religion. I think it's for people. I just feel like
Yeah.
it's really for people, and yeah. So I absolutely love that. So I would love for a Buddhist monk to come up to me and just like rub a little bit of luck on me.
Yeah, and yeah, I forgot to mention. I think one of the nicest people that I've come across with are people in Cambodia, because they're very humble, they're very down to earth. I like Cambodian people. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Lovely. Okay. So if anyone listening wants to check out your mental health blog or anything that you're doing, where would they be able to find you? Where can somebody go and look for you?
Yeah, so all they have to do is just Google Psychreg, so that's Psychreg. It's not about traveling, but it's about mental health. But a lot of people who write articles for Psychreg are from different countries, so in a way you get to learn about their perspectives in life.
Thank you so much to Dennis for joining me in this week's episode. There are so many different types of therapies that can help you if you are suffering with a mental health issue. Of course, you should always see your doctor for diagnosis and treatment, but a complementary alternative is travel. It helped me and so many others, and it could help you too. This planet has everything you need to survive, and by nature we long to explore and learn, and travel fulfills those needs and it helps you to grow and heal. I am a lifestyle coach and a travel mentor, and you can find out more about me and what I do by visiting my website, which is www.onewayjourney.com. Or you can find me on Instagram, which is One Way Journey Travel, and on Facebook, which is One Way Journey by Chloe Kaszewski. Thank you so much for listening today, guys. If you like this episode or any others, then please go ahead and share them with your friends. My name is Chloe Kaszewski, and this is If a Hostel Could Talk.